Ko te amorangi ki mua, ko te hāpai o ki muri. Kia tauhiwo na manaakitanga ki runga ki tēnā o tātā. E hōnore he kororia he mau ngā aro mo ki runga ki te mato te whenua e whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Arohai na ngā teina me ngā tuakana e noho nei i te whakaaro o tahi pai marire.
Please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā hau e whā, tēnei ko mihi mahana ki o koutou, nau mai hara mai, ki te whare o te kāwana tianara ki Whanganuiatara. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you to today's investiture ceremony here at Government House in Wellington. I'd like to specifically acknowledge Mr. Joe Harawira, our kaumātua, and Ms. Puhi Wahine Tibble, our kuia. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties that I perform on behalf of His Majesty the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa New Zealand through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Ms. Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Carl Showtim of Wellington, for services to the arts, particularly Māori art. Carl Showtim, Ngāti Puhi, Te Uriroroi, has held curatorial roles in universities, museums and galleries. He was a curator at Rotorua Museum and director and curator at Tauranga Art Gallery before becoming director of the Daus Art Museum, head of arts and culture for Hutt City. He's worked to increase the profile of Toi Māori and Māori artists. He was instrumental in the opening and curating for the Wairau Māori Art Gallery in the Huntedwasa Arts Centre in Whangarei. He's written for multiple arts publications and co-authored Crafting Aotearoa, A Cultural History of New Zealand and the Wider Moana Oceania. Mr. Showtim is a member of Te Rupu Mana Toi, an advocacy advisory for Creative New Zealand, and serves on charitable art trusts and in various advisory positions. Mr. Carl Showtim, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Gerald Dwyer of Kaiapoi, for services to rowing. Gerald Dwyer chaired the board of Rowing New Zealand from 2013 to 2022, during which New Zealand won 18 Olympic rowing medals. He's a member of the Sport Canterbury board and was president of the Avon Rowing Club. He's held various roles within Rowing New Zealand, including director, manager of the under-19 and under-23 teams, selection ombudsman, race official at New Zealand Championships and Māori Cups, and high performance committee member. He was director of the lead-up to the World Rowing Championships held at Lake Karapiro in 2010. Since retirement, Mr. Dwyer has continued to serve as a race official. Mr. Gerald Dwyer, please come forward. Dr. Paul Monda of Blackball for services to the arts and community. Dr. Paul Monda established a performing arts centre in Toale and worked on theatre projects with schools, ethnic communities, psychiatric patients, unions, and prison inmates. He initiated the Blackball Readers and Writers Festival and a writers' residency, mounted regular plays, and helped organise the 1908 Blackball Strike Centenary commemoration. He helped establish Mahi Tupuna, Blackball Museum of Working Class History, where he's secretary and treasurer. He served on arts bodies and residents' associations, authored publications, and developed community initiatives. He helped establish Te Puawai Cooperative Society, which explores a transition economy and provides work for local residents. Dr. Monda volunteers as a St. John, New Zealand first responder. Dr. Paul Monda, please come forward. Ms. Anna Rogers of Christchurch for services to literature. Anna Rogers has edited books by renowned New Zealand authors. She's been a sub-editor for the New Zealand Listener and edited the book trade magazine Booksellers News. She's the author of numerous non-fiction books, including the first World War centenary history, With Them Through Hell. She's adapted books for reading on radio and written book reviews. She helped establish the New Zealand Association of Manuscript Assessors, was involved in the Listener Women's Book Festival, and served on the New Zealand Book Council. Ms. Rogers chaired the organising committee for Christchurch Writers' Festivals, was involved with the Hagley Writers' Institute, and has mentored many writers and editors. Ms. Anna Rogers, please come forward. Dr. Hutana Smith of Wellington for services to the environment. Dr. Hutana Smith, Ngāti Tukorehi, Te Matiawa, Ngāti Rangatawhia, Ngāti Kapu Manawa Whiti Ki Kuku, is the head of Massey University's School of Art, leading the largest Māori-led research project into climate change with local iwi and hapu. She's led her team to work with Māori land and farm owners and used their ancestral knowledge and whakapapa to improve understanding of climate change. She was part of the Deep South Challenge Vision Matorangi science program, looking at how climate change would affect Māori primary industries, tourism and taonga. Dr. Smith was elected as co-chair of Horizons Climate Action, tasked with addressing the impact of climate change in Manawatu and the surrounding areas. Dr. Hutana Smith, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mr. Richard Higham of Dunedin for services to rugby and education. Richard Higham teaches on the Graduate School of Business MBA at the University of Otago. He's been a member of the Otago University Rugby Football Club, OURFC, since 1973, including time as club captain, vice president and president. He coached teams for the club and convened the clubroom subcommittee. He's secretary of the OURFC Rugby Foundation Trust. He self-publishes the club's Blues News e-newsletter. He is on the OURFC Light Blues Association Management Committee. He volunteers with the University Club at the University of the Third Age, U3A, Dunedin. Mr. Higham is active with the Dunedin Symphony Orchestra Friends. Mr. Richard Higham, please come forward. Reverend Alofa Taale of Dunedin for services to the community. Reverend Alofa Taale is Associate Minister at First Church of Otago. She serves on the Dunedin Samoan Ministers' Council. She's a trustee on the Otago Community Trust Board and a member of the Otago Polytechnic External Pacific Advisory Group and the Kaitiaki Group of the Otipoti Community Builders Network. She supports numerous Pacific community initiatives and events. She is Mission Coordinator at Mercy Hospital, Dunedin. She established the Mercy Centre of Learning, where Māori and Pacific students from Dunedin high schools receive weekly tutoring from university students. Reverend Lale is the immediate past national president of Pacifica Incorporated. Reverend Alofa Taale, please come forward. Mr. Richard Lemon of Ashburton for services to the agriculture and pastoral industry. Richard Lemon has been a committee member of Ashburton A&P Association since 1976 and is currently chairman of the board. He competed with his Border Leicester stud sheep and is now a recognised judge for the Border Leicester breed with the New Zealand Sheep Breeders Association. Mr. Lemon was Vice President of the Royal A&P Society and is a member, director and former President of the Canterbury A&P Association, where he chaired several committees. As the full A&P show was cancelled in 2020 due to COVID-19, Mr. Lemon catered 300 meals for the judges and stewards of the reduced events. Mr. Richard Lemon, please come forward. Ms. Nancy McShane of Christchurch for services to women and pay equity. Nancy McShane has been a delegate for the Public Service Association for 12 years, leading pay equity collective action for her colleagues. She was a key figure in the negotiating team that reached a gender pay settlement with the district health boards for 10,000 administration staff, with some staff receiving a 40% pay rise. She became the co-convener of the Women's Network within the Public Service Association and advocates for other social issues relevant to women, including the effect of unstable and underpaid employment on women and their ability to live free from dependence or domestic violence. Ms. Nancy McShane, please come forward. Mrs. Jillian Vincent of Christchurch for services to pipe bands. Jillian Vincent is a marching and drum majors judge and has served as an assistant contest supervisor. She was secretary of the Pipe Bands Foundation of New Zealand. She's held the positions of contest supervisor and contest group leader and has been a member of the Non-Music Judges Review Committee, tasked with the preparation and production of the Non-Music Judges Guide. She's convener of the Non-Music Judges Selection Committee and the New Zealand Championships closing ceremony organiser. Mrs. Vincent is a life member of the Royal New Zealand Pipe Bands Association and of the association's Canterbury Centre. Mrs. Jillian Vincent, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
I thought we were going to have bagpipes for a moment there. New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. You exemplify the sentiment expressed by Te Puia Herangi when she said, "Mahi a te mahi, hei paenga mō te iwi." Do the work for the betterment of the people. I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the King of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you once again for your service to our country. Kia ora e huhi mai nei I tēnei rā. Now you will see on the back of your program the words to the national anthem in te reo and in English, and I will invite you now to stand with me and join in singing the national anthem.